Sponsored by rxcardclub.com. Get a free prescription drug card and save up to 85% on prescription drugs. rxcardclub.com. Karl-Anthony Towns' impact in Minnesota goes deeper than basketball as a promise is kept. BLAINE, Minnesota. Not even 15 hours after having his socks knocked off by a trade that ended his 9-year run in Minnesota, Karl-Anthony Towns strolled onto Field 49N at the National Sports Center, a sprawling youth soccer complex that was playing host to over 300 teams from across the upper Midwest for the Fall Cup. He had a promise to keep. Wearing a green Timberwolves hat and a black Timberwolves shirt, he stood in the corner of the field under an unseasonably hot late September sun and watched an under-12 girls game while still wrapping his head around the Timberwolves having just traded him to the New York Knicks. His world had been turned upside down. His phone had not stopped pinging with text messages. The trade that brought Julius Randle Donte DiVincenzo and a protected first-round pick to Minnesota was still being finalized. And yet, their Towns was because long ago he had told one of the girls on the green team that he would watch her play one day. He thought there would be plenty of time for that. Suddenly, there wasn't. A flight was scheduled for the next day to whisk him away to New York. So he piled into the car with his father and his friends and headed to the field about 20 minutes north of downtown Minneapolis. As he stood there, parents cranked their necks and whispered to each other because it's hard for a 7-foot-tall, 4-time NBA All-Star to keep a low profile in this kind of setting. Is that Karl-Anthony Towns? That is. Word started to spread. Girls from other teams that had just played or were waiting to take the field streamed toward him, sheepishly saying hello and asking to take pictures. He obliged everyone and asked them how their games were going. Boys who grumbled about being forced to go watch their sisters play were probably singing a different tune on the ride home. Referees hustled over as soon as the game was over. Almost all of them had a respectful and simple message for him: thank you. 9 years is a lifetime in the NBA. The girl he was coming to see was 3 months old when Flip Saunders drafted Towns number 1 overall in 2015. The parents ogling him watched him grow from a 19-year-old kid into a 28-year-old man. They saw him handle success, NBA Rookie of the Year, 4 All-Star games, 2 All-NBA teams, a 3-point contest championship and last season's run to the Western Conference Finals, failure, missing the postseason 5 times, playoff struggles against Dallas in 2024, Denver on an injured knee in 2023 and Houston in 2018, and heartbreak. Saunders died from a lymphoma before Towns played a game and Towns' mother, Jacqueline, died from COVID-19 in 2020. Dozens came by to pay their respects, all of them knowing he was on his way to New York. The kids smiled nervously and told him they were sorry to see him go. They said they wished he was staying. Maybe one day you will come back, a young girl wearing a white jersey and bright green cleats told him. Towns smiled widely.